Yo, y'all, can y'all work one of these from a standing position? I ain't talking about on your knees doing. I'm talking about standing straight up and plank out and come back in. Can you do it? Probably not. I can. But anyway, nah. What I wanted to say was one of the biggest alpha traits to have is the fact that you're not going to apologize for nothing. I remember being a kid and seeing an interview with Roddy Piper, right? And I remember he said something about, I know a lot of people don't like me for the things that I say and I done, and I ain't apologizing for none of them. Remember how I used to give them interviews and he'd be real hyped up and have them create that crazy look in his eyes? That's what made him one of the better wrestlers. And in my opinion, I learned something that day. Here's a guy, Roddy Piper, that people don't like. People know he doesn't like them, but yet he's not going to apologize just so that they like him. You need to learn that, fellas. Like when I went to TGI Fridays, I told this story on Mr. Negative's channel. Ups to him. He asked, or no, he didn't ask me, but I told him about how I was at TGI Fridays like 2 weeks before this incident and told the girls in there that they were retarded children, right? And they didn't want to serve me the next time I came into the establishment. And I remember telling myself, because they all ganged up on me about, well, yeah, we didn't like what you said last time, all that. So I'm like, okay. I had to literally gather myself and say, okay, one thing you don't do here is apologize. Because I wanted to apologize, not because I was sorry for what I said, just that I wanted them to serve me while I was waiting for my food. But I didn't apologize. And I'm never apologizing. Or I ain't gonna say I never apologized to a woman, and she lost respect for me. Ultimately, she lost respect. This chick, she looked like Meghan Markle. She did to me. And am I attracted to Meghan Markle? No. So I was dealing with this girl, and I remember we were. One thing you don't want to do, fellas, when you're out drinking, you don't want to just start talking because you're gonna say something that you'll regret. One thing I'm famous for is taking a girl who was wet in her moist regions and saying something to make her turn into a Sahara desert down there, you know? And one thing I said to her was that she was the perfect girl because she was quote unquote middle of the road. She took that as an insult. She didn't like it, but she still was going to give me some. And that's the thing, fellas. If a girl's level of attraction is high enough for you, she'll give you some. No matter, I mean, you can't say no crazy shit, but if you say, some shit that basically lets her know that your value is higher than hers, then she'll heed to that. But anyway, not about her. About apologizing for shit that you say. I didn't apologize to the girl at TGI Fridays. I didn't apologize to the girl Meghan Markle for saying she was middle of the road. I'm just not apologizing for anything that I say that I feel. I'm not. Like there'll never be a case where I do a video and say some shit and then take the video down or um, disable my comment section. I'll never do that because what I put up, what anybody puts up, they should have time enough to get in their emotions and get out of their emotions before they even make the recording to record the video. Then they should have time to listen to it and be like, okay, did I say everything I wanted to say? In my case, no. But, is there anything in here that I don't want said? That should be before you hit upload. That's for every content creator. So I'll never be disabling comments. I'll never be taking videos down. I'll never be, if anything, I may, like some of my stances, like on ADOS and all that and reparations, I have changed up some point to that, but we're not talking about that now. But for the most part, I stick to whatever it is I say. Like when Sean James talked that passport shit and everybody jumped on him and he took his video down or he stopped talking about all that passport stuff. Like his content is totally changed. He's talking about comic books, and I've never liked comic books. I've never been into comic books, and I got a good imagination, but his content has changed because he allowed people that had different opinions of his than his to run him off. I would never let anybody do that. Never. And another thing about Roderick Toombs, before WrestleMania 2, he said, before he boxed Mr. T, he said, I'll never, what'd he say? I'll never shave my head like an Indian and paint myself black. And I remember being a little boy laughing at that, thinking that was funny. So, at the end of the day, fuck you, Roderick Toombs.